Hello. This is Mike Squires, not Mike Squires. And you're listening to Nothing's Shocking Podcast. Send money.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
We're putting the band back together.
The numbers all go to 11.
I'm talking about bands that rock. Led Zeppelin. What about Sabbath? AC/DC. Motorhead.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
I get up off the ground and raise my head. Days like this, think I should be dead. One for Satan, two for me. Let's cheat the devil, it's fun, don't you agree?
Welcome to the Nothing Shocking Podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeff Untied, and with me in Dog Bowl Studios is
Coach Nez.
You can find the Nothing Shocking Podcast on Libsyn or any podcatchers. Like our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter at NoShockPod.
You can also find the Nothing Shocking Podcast on Rock Rage Radio every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Our sponsor is Ragged Records, located in downtown Rock Island, Illinois, and downtown Davenport, Iowa. We would like to thank the Hong Kong Sleepover for allowing us to use their music for our intro and bumper ending. Tonight's guest is
Mike Squires of Duff, McKagan's Loaded.
Formerly of the Alien Crime Syndicate, and he's also a solo artist.
Yeah. Right now he's promoting, he's got a new record.
Number two record. A collection of 15-second songs.
Yeah. It was funny because I thought they were samples, but it's the whole record.
It is. This album is available on flexidisc and
I think Bandcamp.
Yeah. Well, check it out. Let's get to that interview.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
I was born to party.
All right.
I was born for this.
All right, here we go. Mike, welcome to the Nothing Shocking Podcast. I'd like to introduce to you my co-host, Jeff Untied.
Mike, it's good to be talking to you tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. So you got a very talented press agent that we've been working with to make this happen. So before we kind of get into this, tragic news last night of Mark Lanigan's passing,
Yeah.
And we know that you guys have kind of crossed paths. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Mark Lanigan?
Yeah. He was, he had a reputation for being a really rough and tumble guy, but he was always really, really cool to me. And whenever we crossed paths, he returned my texts always. And he, little known fact, he had an incredible sense of humor and was very funny. Very particular sense of humor, but I loved him, and I'm very sad that he's gone.
Just tragic. Last night we had that. Jeff and I are both big Mark Lanigan fans, Screaming Tree fans, and so when we noticed that you had crossed paths with him before, we wanted just to kind of start this interview out with maybe a little tribute to him. But
I had the chance to play with him once on back him up. Mm-hmm. And that was incredible. That was a big night. We also backed up Anna Nancy Wilson, and who are also legends. Yeah. But to back up Lanigan was, the voice. It was just like a voice from another world.
Absolutely.
And then he was also in a Couch Riffs video.
Yeah, I saw that last night. The Highwayman.
And Highwayman, yeah, and he sang the Johnny Cash verse, and it's, it's kind of heavy to listen to it now, because it's all about sort of enduring spirit and people who have died. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well,
a little heavy.
Let's get to some stuff that we wanted.
Let's get to the slapstick.
Hey, let's kind of talk about this number 2 record, this turbo fast record that you released here.
Yeah.
What we're talking about? 15-second songs? The album is a whopping 4 minutes long. Is that right? Can you talk a little bit more about
digital? The digital. 4 minutes. You're talking about the digital version with bonus tracks. The flexidisc is 2 minutes 51 seconds. The entire album. And it's funny. I laugh I ship these things out myself and put a little handwritten note on it when I sell them. And every single time I just laugh. I look at it and I'm like, this is absurd, because I remember buying records and when they were the length of records. But this is an art project, and I assume that you've heard it. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. Mm-hmm. They're relatively complete thoughts, and they're simple thoughts. But a lot of my favorite songs. So are Ramones songs, and so are there are a lot of songs that communicate a lot very simply, and so that was my goal. But also to be able to capture people's attention for the entirety of my record. That was the goal. It was a reaction to people's attention span, given the diet of social media onslaught, that we receive now, just the barrage of information. So the book represents the physical realization of an Instagram account. And so there's an image for every song, and then there's a story for every song, and it's square and like an Instagram feed. Although I guess I make rectangular, I make all kinds of posts now. But yeah, the whole thing's, it happened pretty organically, and it started as a really absurd idea, which most of my worst ideas are the ones that I follow through on. Because they're the most fun. I'm a person who requires a lot of amusement. And so who better to amuse me than myself, And so I just did it. I thought I started recording these songs as a after work thing on my couch. I would just sit on the couch and write a quick 15-second song. And all of those songs and the songs on this record, almost all, still exist. If you go to my Instagram account, my personal account, you'll see a highlight reel on there that says 15-second songs, and they're songs from 2019, the summer of 2019, and me singing Truck Nuts and Colorblind and all these things that are real in my life. And there's a song on there that's inspired by Lanigan, actually.
Oh. Well,
though I don't think he was a Star Wars fan. There's a Star Wars Lanigan crossover.
Well, you succeeded in grabbing our attention span. That's for sure.
Oh, I know. I like.
Thank you, man.
I hadn't read the fine print that they were 15 seconds until I started listening to it last night, and I thought it was just like a 15-second preview of the song, and it left me like wanting more. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. And
I've gotten that a lot. Like, okay, these samples are awesome. I want more.
Yeah.
And I hear and from my friends, like, this is really great, and it's cool that you have, it's cool that you have made a solo record, but now you need to make real songs or whatever. I'm like, these are real songs. Are you out of your mind? Like, this is where the world is headed. Like, good luck getting your entire album heard. I just had someone listen to my entire album. This is smart business, man.
You truly have. I guess, the last time I saw a flexidisc was I think I got it out of a cereal box
or
for my Fruit
or on
Loops.
a Spin magazine. Or
something like that. Can you talk a little bit more about releasing a flexidisc for your album?
Yeah, the original idea was that I would release it on vinyl. And the more I started conceptualizing this whole project, the more sitting around and waiting for vinyl pressing, which is the supply chain on that supply chain hot topic. If you have a little bell, now's a good time to hit the bell. Hot topic, supply chain. It takes a year to get vinyl printed, and in a year I'm on. My mind's on to the next thing.
Sure.
I can't stay focused for that long. So I thought, well, if I was trying to develop product X, if I was just trying to treat music as a reaction to the market, like I'm some sort of business genius, and just simply take the data that I'm looking at and not have any emotional or artistic investment in it, what would I do? Well, I would reproduce it on whatever is cheapest and fastest, and then I would overpackage it, and then I would cram it into Walmart. And so and also, frankly, people kind of treat music with not a lot of respect, and that's where number 2 comes from, right? It's like, look, you're going to treat this like number 2. And people are going to laugh at it like it's a fart joke, and it kind of is, but it's also a statement, it really is. And so I was like, I'm going to call it number 2 record, because number 1 record is Taken, the title, by Big Star. And so I'll print it on a flexidisc, because that's also funny, and everything about this, other than the digital version of it. I didn't put it on streaming. I didn't want to do that. And not for political reasons, just for reasons that it didn't jive with the concept of this art project. I wanted everything to be presented in antiquated media forms. And so I packaged it in a book. Yeah. And so, sadly, books are the most antiquated media form in this whole game. So
yes,
but yeah, that's how I ended up doing the flexidisc. I've been jokingly talking about doing a deluxe version where I also have the demo versions of the songs, and I put it out on a 7-inch, which would be really funny.
That would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Jeff, you got the next one. You want me to take the next one?
Well, just more about like the different musical styles. Obviously, those are probably some of your tastes or where your music comes from. But can you just talk a little bit about the picking the different music genres to include on the album?
Yeah. So as a sort of result to that, kind of like diuretic information overload that we get. You look at anything, TikTok or Instagram, and you're just scrolling through. I follow a bunch of different stuff, so I'll scroll through, and there'll just be some kid just shredding like arpeggios, and then I scroll down one more thing, and then there's someone plucking away on the acoustic, and so I wanted the vibe to be, frenetic in the way that a social media feed is at least mine is,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if surely you picked up on it. You probably would never say it because out of fear of offending me, but they're also, every song is either, just ferociously stealing from someone. There's a David Bowie sort of Mott the Hoople song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a sort of or there's a Nirvana song. There's a Sex Pistols song. There's a Mark Lanigan song. And then there are sort of cliches of subgenres also. And that's also intentional, just as a because there's so it's just like that out there, man. It's just like there's not that much comes along that knocks your socks off, and you say, "Man, I have never heard this before." And if it is something that you've never heard, it's usually something that's like experimental and you have to be in the mood for that to be challenged musically. So I didn't want there to be a challenge, ironically. I didn't want it to be challenging, and philosophically, we've all sort of gotten ourselves primed for this. This is how people take information in now. And I also think it's hilarious that the grooves on the record are too tight that you can't go to a song that you like particularly. You have to listen to the whole record. You don't have a choice.
Yeah. Oh, so cool.
And even the digital version of the record is the same way. I did not allow it to be broken up.
Oh, fantastic.
Although I am making lyric videos for all the songs, which is also absurd because the lyrics are almost always just the title, because you can't get very many lyrics into a 15-second song. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
But it's a sort of the constraints of time. So, yeah, the lyrics are funny. It's all funny.
Well, so cool. So I know this is a kind of a slightly weird question, but have you thought about, playing these songs live, and how do you arrange them in between regular 3 to 4 minute songs? How does it work out? What's the plan?
Well, oddly enough, I have considered doing this live, but not in a live performance for an audience in any sort of conventional or traditional sense. I have a pipe dream. If there's anyone rich out there and you're charmed by this ridiculous story, please send money. A lot of it, because I have this amazing concept. I've been working with a guy who's made some of my favorite videos, made some Red Fang videos, this guy, Whitey McKagen. And he's amazing. And he's a real prop guy, and he's a vision guy. He's like, he gets it. So the idea is to have a single band, and there's some different things that come into play, but have it be a performance of the entire album by a single band in a single take, with costume changes, set changes, lighting changes, mood change, so it's an intense concept, and it's really over the top, and it would be like nothing that anyone has ever seen before, but it would also cost a lot of money. Money is not something. I have a lot of imagination. I have a lot of creative energy, but not a lot of money. I'm not starving, but yeah, that's so. I need to shelf that idea until I can come up with a pretty good chunk of change. But if anyone is rich and really wants to see this happen, get in touch. DM me. Slide into my DMs.
We'll try to help you out with that.
That would be incredible, yeah. Are you guys rich?
No.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely not.
I feel rich because it's my birthday tomorrow.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Rich in experience. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Turning the big 5-0.
How old are you?
Turning the big 5-0.
I turned 50 in December.
Yeah.
So,
is it all it's cracked up to be?
Totally. Yeah. I feel more important than ever. Yeah.
All right.
Ask me anything, I'll explain it.
Let's switch gears here. So let's kind of move away from the second record, and let's talk a little bit more about. Well, let's talk about Couch Riffs. Yeah. You're the host of Couch Riffs Podcast. Can you kind of give our listeners an insight on that? Maybe they're a little bit ignorant to Couch Riffs. Can you talk a little bit more about it?
I would never fault anyone for being ignorant to Couch Riffs' existence. Because we're small but mighty. But here's the thing. I never wanted a podcast, right? But there was a spell about 3 years ago Was it 3 years ago? It was 2018? 4 years ago? Shucks. This is a family show, right? Shucks.
Oh.
And I found myself unemployed and living in Brooklyn, and I had applied for this job that they had, it involved traveling around, a product specialist for a company. And I've done that kind of work before. And I thought I was a shoo-in, They asked me to make a video of me playing, and I was sloppy at that point. I had been unemployed for a while, and I made this video. I could play the guitar, but I didn't brush my hair or shower. I didn't have shoes or socks on. I was like, I got this in the bag. Anyway, making the video was pretty fun, and then I just started posting these things, and the pandemic was years in the future. It was 2 years away. Mm-hmm. And I just, as an unemployed guy, I just started making a video in the morning, like playing things that seemed just out of my skill set, which, let me tell you, it doesn't take that much to get there. I did like the solo for the final countdown, which is pretty tricky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did Highway Star, this kind of stuff, and it was really fun, and my friends liked it. We all had good laughs because I always did the first take, and warts and all, and I would fail sometimes, and if I failed in the middle, that's what went up. And that was a reaction to just sort of social media performance perfection. People, who knows? Maybe people are that good. I don't know. Surely there's people who are just that good. But people just seem flawless on social media. And I just thought, boring, Then I started having people over, and my very first guest was my buddy David, and we did, oh God, now I feel like such a ding-dong. What is the intro to Electric Eye? What is the...
For Judas Priest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the intro called? It has it's called the
Hellion.
The Hellion. Yeah, we did the Hellion. And it was super fun. And then Duff came over, and we did a Jackson 5 song.
Oh, cool.
But he played guitar and I played bass. And, it was super fun. And then I just continued doing that. But we moved out of Brooklyn, and it was a lot more difficult to get people to come sit on a couch when you live 2.5 hours away from anywhere that anyone wants to be. So I started doing a podcast, and then the pandemic happened. Quarantine videos started to happen. The one thing I saw was like Charlie and Alex. They did Rush, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw it, and I was like, oh man, I think I know how they did this. But to be sure, I called Alex because he had been a guest on Couch Riffs and asked him. And I said, you don't have to tell me if it's a big secret, but is this how you did it? And he said, that's totally how I did it. Or, I mean, that's how they did it. He said, I didn't do anything. And I said, great. So I just set to task, and now I've made over 40 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And they're pretty good, I've made a handful of charity videos. Some of them do pretty well. Some of them don't crush it. I don't know the secret to the universe. That'd be great. I mean, someday I'll commune with infinity, and that maybe I'll know stuff then. But for now, I don't know. It'd be cool if you followed and checked it out. I think it's pretty fun. I try to edit them interestingly.
You do amazing job.
Yeah, I thought it was
absolutely amazing.
I bumped up your numbers. I think I listened to about 25 of them last night.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'll talk about it, just because I don't care. I made it. It's not a big secret, but it's not out yet. I made a charity video for Roadie Relief, this not-for-profit that helps, tour support staff who need it. And in addition to occupying my last year with making the shortest record, maybe of all time, I think I made the longest quarantine video of all time, which is, I mean, are you surprised? It's a 10-minute cover. It's a 10-minute song. The song is Starship Trooper by Yes.
Yes.
You familiar with this song?
I am.
Oh, yeah.
We crushed it. It's so good. And there's 18 people in the video, and it's awesome. There's people from, Mother Love Bone, the Fastbacks, Steve Stevens, Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters, The Roots, Sleater Kinney. I mean, it's just like, it's sick. Yeah, it's incredible. And so what we're going to do, the details haven't been ironed out, but we're going to do it sort of like a rock and roll fantasy camp thing.
Oh, cool.
And again, rich people or people who care about, here's the thing, like there's people out there that have money and don't know what to do with it or want to help people. And I'm not asking for money to go buy a motorcycle or a jet ski. I'm asking for money to make, like, none of it will go in my pocket. And for this thing, the charity, I won't even see it or I won't even smell the money. So if there's rich people out there that want to be in this video, that play music and want to be in the video, you make this specific donation. We haven't figured out what that'll be, and I don't even care what it is. I just want Rodeo Relief to get the support they need. And, we'll open up a limited number of spots. I'll send them the stems. They load it into their recording system. They do what everyone else in the video did, and I cut them into the video, and we mix them into the song, and I send them the video and the song. They can do whatever they want with it. Post it on their socials. Look at me playing with Steve Stevens, or look at me shredding with Alex Skolnick or whatever, and that's that.
Oh,
that's
so
how
cool.
Pretty cool, right? And the song is amazing. I have a pipe dream, and the pipe dream is to get the band Yes to officially endorse it.
Well,
yeah,
there's still a few members left.
I think, I know. I think they should. I think it's the right thing.
Absolutely.
I think it's the right thing for them to do.
Oh, well said. Yeah. Jeff, you got the next one?
Yeah.
I just want to ask you a little bit about Loaded. I'm a big fan of the Duff McKagan's Loaded band. What's the current status of the band? Are you guys still together or planning anything in the future?
The current status of the band is not broken up, but not the primary focus of Duff, because he's got this other band happening. And, I don't think that, Duff isn't driven to be out on the road for 11 and a half months of the year in the way that Slash is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, I think, he's also a guy, Duff is also a seeker. And so, he made a solo record a couple years ago and toured on that. I sang some BVs on it and saw him in New York, and it was awesome. And it was awesome to see him in that setting and see him doing something completely different than what he's done before.
Yeah.
And so, I like to think that I would also do that. I would do something that was different than my main band, a lot different. So, surely we'll play again. I don't know under what context or, to what degree, but every few years we come out of the woodwork and we do a benefit. That seems to be our go-to. Like, something happens and we come together and try to help raise some money for someone else.
Oh, so cool.
Nice.
Opposed to your other musical endeavors, what is it like getting in the studio with Duff McKagen? Yeah. How's the writing and recording process? How does it work out?
Well, the songs are a lot longer. than 15 seconds. We all contributed songs to all of the Loaded records, and that's one very cool thing about working with Duff. There's not a lot of ego going on in the studio, and one of us will track a part for a song, and then when we go to play it live, we might switch parts. It might be that kind of thing, just depending on what is the easiest way for us to present it live. That was the way I actually met and was introduced to being in the band, was just doing some recording on the very first Dark Days record.
Okay.
And thank goodness Duff wasn't actually there, because at that time I think I would have just crapped my pants. Yeah. I think I would have been pretty nervous if he was there watching me. But he was into what I did and asked me to come do more and play a couple shows, or do some rehearsing and play a show and see how it went. And it's just sort of been going since. That was 2001, maybe. Yeah, 2001. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's been, basically all of the coolest stuff that I've gotten to do musically, or most all of it, has been, because of playing with Duff, and either as a direct or a sort of peripheral effect of playing with him.
Oh, so cool. Last summer we had your bandmate Jeff Rouse on the podcast, and
love that guy.
Fantastic human being. You guys are bandmates in Alien Crime Syndicate. Right now, what is the status of Alien Crime Syndicate? Are you guys still collaborating together? What's going on with that?
ACS is broken up. I think the last show that happened was in 2006, maybe 2007, maybe. But strangely, on my 50th birthday in December, we were going to have a show in Seattle.
Oh.
And a bunch of bands were going to play, including Postpartum Depression, which was Jeff Angel's band before Walking Papers. And I was going to sit in with them. A bunch of bands were going to come together and play, and ACS was going to play, and I was really excited about that. Every band that was playing that night, I was really, really excited about. But it got canceled because of COVID stuff, and I kind of dodged a bullet because they got hit with really bad snow, and I think it probably would have gotten canceled, and I would have flown out there, and we would have spent a bunch of money and on traveling and hotels, and then we would have gotten none of the joy. I just would have been older. That's it.
Jeff, you got the next one?
Well, as a Seattle grunge rock fan of the 90s, you always kind of think of Seattle, or for me anyways, put Seattle kind of, I think I have this fantasy of what Seattle was or what it is, but how has it changed over the last couple of years? Is it different than what it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
Oh, it's unrecognizable. Yeah, it's way different. I've also been gone for since 2015.
Okay.
So my thing with Seattle is really strange, because in 1999, from 1999 to 2004, I was basically gone on tour.
Yeah.
Constantly, because I was in Alien Crime Syndicate, Harvey Danger, and Loaded all at the same time. So I was coming and going. I came home from my last tour with ACS, and I moved to Portland, Oregon, and was there for a few years, and came back and forth, and didn't play much music for a few years, and then Loaded started again. And then I lived in Seattle, but I wasn't slugging it out doing Tuesday and Wednesday nights. that's where I feel like that's where the seeds of scenes happen. If you're playing weekend gigs, that's amazing, but you're either about to blow up or you're about to implode. That's all the weekend gig means. You know what I mean? Like, you're about to get a record deal, buy road cases, and then put the road cases on Craigslist in 6 months. So, not to be a pessimist, but I just have been through it a lot of times. And so, I don't know, there's maybe it's just a romantic notion, but I feel like those gigs that happen Monday through Thursday are where you meet and make new relationships. Because by the time you're playing weekend gigs, you're playing with people that you've known for a while. And so I just I don't know, I haven't felt that connected to also just getting older. Yeah. But Seattle as a whole is unrecognizable. I think mostly people nostalgically think of it as a grunge place, but there was a lot going. There was an experimental jazz scene there. There's a hip hop scene there. There's an alt country scene. They all kind of mishmash and cross paths. And they have KXP, which helps nurture all of that. But KXP has also sort of become a global phenomenon with the internet radio and this kind of stuff. So I don't even know. Did I even answer your question?
Good. You did good.
The answer to your question is it's a lot different, but I couldn't tell you how. It's just get off my lawn.
I guess maybe is there a cultural disconnect from what Seattle was back in the 90s to where it is right now? Or is it still a hotbed for underground rock and roll?
There is so much money there now. It's just like any other city. It just was one of the earliest examples because of the tech boom there. And also in San Francisco, where it becomes increasingly harder for young people to exist and be creative, because having a gig where you work 8 or 10 hours a day, just saps you of your creative energy. And if you can't afford to live in a place and be creative, I don't know, then I just can't see how there's a thriving scene. So I don't know where that is. Maybe it's in Oklahoma, or maybe Detroit, or Pittsburgh. I think is expensive now.
Well,
I don't know.
We've talked to this with many artists, and we were trying to figure out, where is the next hotbed of underground music scene that's going to, pop open and make rock and roll of the pop culture again, the mainstream pop culture again. Obviously Seattle had its time, San Francisco had its time, the LA Strip had their time, New York City had their time. Do you foresee an area, a pocket of the United States where a rock and roll scene could come back up and make rock and roll prevalent in pop culture again?
Are you even ready for my answer?
I'm ready.
I don't think, not until Skynet attacks, because here's the thing. Here's the thing is that regional things don't happen anymore. Like grunge, even though, it wasn't, I don't know, like boom bap hip hop, or grunge, or grind, like death metal, like Florida death metal. Like these are things that sort of, a few bands swirled around and got mixed up, and people bounced around in bands and sort of created this thing. And that doesn't happen anymore because information is just like zooming around the planet in a completely different way than it ever has before. So, no, I don't. I think that local scenes are kind of dead. But also, I'm an old guy, so what the hell do I know?
We still hold on to our nostalgia.
Right.
Yeah, we still hold on because in our area at one point we had a great rock and roll scene. But establishments.
That was before the internet, right?
Yeah, of course. And it was, establishments close. People don't own these places forever. And sometimes people don't buy the establishments that are still there, so they shut the doors. But I have one last question for you, and then we're going to let you go for the evening. But I asked this question to pretty much every guest we have on. So
my direct deposit number.
Social media has, taken the mystery out of rock and roll. There used to be such a nostalgic mystery to so many different bands, and because the only information you got from them was from, the heavy metal magazines, the Circus or the Parade or Rolling Stone or Spin or whatever, music magazine that you subscribed to or you purchased at the store. Now the cat's kind of out of the bag, but what do you prefer as an artist? Do you prefer the accessibility now with social media to entertainers like yourself, or do you miss the mystery of it all?
Well, I mean, I've already sort of set the stage for myself to be a clown here. I've been funny since you opened the gate up. So the thing is, I'm not Mick Jagger. Thank God he's not posting pictures of his lunch or whatever and doing restaurant reviews or whatever. That would be the absolute end of everything. Although I would expect that out of him way before Keith. I just, I don't know. I don't care. I kind of feel like the same way my grandpa called Motley Crue sissies, and I didn't even understand what he was saying. Now it's offensive to me, but, I kind of feel like, well, there are certain things that I don't understand because I'm just kind of too old to get it, or I'm not going to experience it in the same way that young people do, even if I get it in my own way, or if I use social media in my own way. I'm never going to keep up with the kids. And so I don't want to, but I don't have a problem with it. I think it's great. And also it's the second greatest source of all evil, behind money. Send money, though.
Yeah.
For sure, send money. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, where else can you be friends with some kid that, you didn't care about in third grade, but you can still chat with them, or, you can watch videos of a kitten farting on a turtle. It's awesome. You didn't even know that kind of thing could happen, but on the internet, every screen is Disneyland. So I love it. Why not?
I just, we've had so many different conflicting, artists give us their opinion, and so many artists miss that mystery. They miss the Led Zeppelin mystery. They miss the Kiss mystery, because those things are just not here anymore. And
it's a different time, But Skynet is coming. For sure it is. It's going to happen. We can't coexist with technology forever. And so don't worry. This will be mysterious again when we have to send smoke signals over the hilltop and we've got a bow and arrow hunt, 5-legged deer or whatever. It's coming.
Well, we are out of our allotted time.
I wonder how Leatherwolf is going to do.
Hey, if you haven't listened to Leatherwolf, you really need to. Great.
It's the first thing I'm going to do when we hang up. That's like the raddest name I've ever heard. Are they a new or old band?
Very old, 80s.
Really?
Yeah, SoCal. They were in the same era of Metallica. They shared the stage with Metallica, Megadeth, all that kind of stuff back in the day. So yeah.
You know who I like from back then? Sirathungal.
Yeah. We had.
Have you had anyone? Oh, really?
Jarvis Leatherby. Yeah, he was on the podcast last year.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Great band.
They were kind of like stoner metal. They're, kind of like, they almost led the charge for like Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, we are out of our allotted time. Is there anything tonight that we forgot to promote that you would like to promote or plug that we've left off?
I mean, no. You can find my record on Bandcamp. It's funny, but it's also fun. If you like to have fun, that's where you can find fun. Bandcamp. Mike Squires, whatever it is. I don't even know the address. But here's the last little bit. There's another guy named Mike Squires, and he's just like hip hop producer kid from Connecticut. And so just look for Mike Squires, not Mike Squires. That's me. Mike Squires is him, and Mike Squires, not Mike Squires. That's me. Although he and I are going to collaborate sometime soon. We're on a texting basis now. So look out for that. Look out for my hip hop record.
There you go.
It's going to be great.
This is how things are going to work out. So we have about a month's worth of episodes to release before yours. So right around, what do you think, Jeff? Probably like toward the end of March.
Yeah.
We'll have this. Jeff, the editing wizard, will have this all cleaned up for us and ready to go.
Awesome. Hey, you guys are great.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I'll be back in touch with you in about 4 weeks. Sound good?
Awesome.
Take care of yourself. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.